Welcome back, everyone. You're joining us just in time for kickoff at the Juventus Stadium in Turin. It is Juventus against Roma. Juve, with one of the most incredible runs in European football. They've won 10 straight matches, looking to make it 11 in a row tonight and go to just 2 points behind Napoli at the top of the table. Roma, they're facing one of their oldest, bitterest rivals in the game. They're also playing tonight for a chance to stay in the title race themselves. Our commentators for this absolutely colossal slice of calcio are Richard Hughes and first Steve Wyatt.
Yes, James, thank you. Good evening, everybody. Not a meeting of the top two, as it has been for the past couple of seasons, but it remains one of Italian football's most evocative fixtures. As expected, Juventus make 3 changes to a side that started against Udinese last weekend. Andrea Barzagli has passed a fitness test and ends Daniele Regani's run in the team. Paul Pogba and Patrice Evra return at the expense of Asamoah and Alexandro. As for Roma, Leandro Castran and Vasilis Torosidis drop out. The team that was held at home by Verona. Antonio Rudiger and William Van Keur, who makes just his 6th start for the club of the additions, whilst we do anticipate that Daniele De Rossi will start as part of the back 3 in a reshuffled Roma 11. There's still a significant contest, the matchup between Juventus and Roma in terms of their respective ambitions. A 13th win in 14 in all competitions would, of course, take Gigi Buffon and champions Juve back to within striking distance of Napoli at the top of the table. As for Roma, well, they are in very serious danger of slipping off the top 3 Champions League pace unless they can end a miserable run of just 1 win since the start of November. Luca Banti is the man in charge this evening at the Juventus Stadium. Defeat in Rome in August left Juventus reeling, and Roma were en route to the summit 5 months on. Richard Hughes, the outlook is very different.
Yeah, absolutely. 5 months, a very long time in football. It looked like Juve would be have it all on for the Europa League qualification place. Back then, far from it now. The form team, them and Napoli, are going to take some stopping. Inter falling off the pace. Fiorentina back to winning ways. Can Roma get a result here in Turin that will keep them interested in the Scudetto race?
Yes, so far only Napoli have not crumbled under the pressure of a surging Juventus. It really is an extraordinary run of form they're on. They've won 12 of the last 14 in the league, only 1 defeat in that time. It has absolutely catapulted them up the table at an incredible rate of knots. Roma heading in the opposite direction. They were top of the table as recently as the end of October, but down in 5th and looking to cling on to those with Champions League aspirations. De Rossi, as we expected, at the heart of that Roma defence from the outset. There was a bit of a question mark over the fitness of Vasilis Torosidis because of a bout of flu this week, so perhaps Luciano Spalletti's hand has been forced a little bit in that regard, having to make a few changes defensively. Dzeko for Salah, 2 players who could really do with ending their long-running goal droughts this evening. Neither has scored in the last 6.
Really good hold-up play there from Dzeko early on. Roma showing that they will go back to front if they have to. Dzeko's going to show that level of hold-up play, then expect Pjanic, Nainggolan and Salah all to be involved in the game.
Pjanic launching it forward in the direction of Edin Dzeko. There's Paul Pogba. Lichtsteiner, who scored the only goal in that 1-0 Coppa Italia victory over Lazio in the week. Just crept in, didn't it? The old goal line technology, granting the Swiss player his 2nd goal of the season in all competitions. Dybala. Well, maybe a few years ago Evra would have got there.
Yeah, perhaps asking too much of the French fullback, but it's a good area that Dybala's picked up there, just off the main striker in a number 10 role. Plenty of firepower on the bench for both sides. But Dybala's been in incredible form. Lovely left foot, lovely balance about him, and changes position since he's moved from Palermo. Really a hard man to pick up, and despite the fact that Roma have a lot of midfielders in that area, Van Keur and Pjanic, they have to keep a keen eye on a Juve player, make sure he doesn't start to dictate things.
Flick from Mandzukic for Dybala, who has either scored or set up 13 goals in his last 9 appearances. There's a rich vein of creativity in which he is currently playing his football. Barzagli has missed the last 4 in all competitions through injury, but the Barzagli, Bonucci, Chiellini trio is reunited at the back for Juve this evening. Evra for Pogba to chase, and he's going to get there ahead of Manolas. Just a little too much on the cross.
Yeah, Manolas is just turning around to Florenzi and wondering why has Pogba got in that channel in behind the Roma right wing-back. In the back three that Roma are playing, they don't want the 2 wide centre-halves being drawn into those positions.
Digne for Nainggolan, who did have Roma ahead against Verona last weekend before the strugglers pegged them back, and it does look he will have the licence to get forward a little bit more freely again tonight. Florenzi, Dzeko the target. Despite what's been at stake in the last couple of seasons, it is overwhelmingly a match-up that has been dominated by Juventus, particularly in Turin. They've won the last 4, the Bianconeri. And here's another one for Pogba to chase into the corner. Up against Manolas once more. And he's given them the slip again. He just tried something a little inventive with the cross. Rudiger's clearance is picked up by Bonucci. That's somewhat ambitious, and Szczesny was right behind it.
He scored a spectacular winner and a controversial winner when these 2 sides met in their stadium last year. And that was taking it a little bit too far, 30 yards out, so early on in the game. Very interesting tactical affair. Plenty of bodies in the middle of the park, very congested. Juve putting a bit of a press on now, but when Juve have the possession deep with their back three, Roma just sitting off them, ready to pounce in a break.
Pjanic. Victory in the reverse fixture in August, and Roma will need to channel the memory of that occasion. Was just their second in the last 11 home and away against Juventus. It is significant that this is the first meeting between these sides in Turin since September 2012, in which they haven't been the top 2 in Italian football. It has been an occasion dripping with significance more often than not of late, and that does remain the case tonight. Certainly Juventus won't want to allow Napoli to get comfortable at the top of the table. Certainly Max Allegri is enjoying his richest vein of form in his coaching career. Never previously got anywhere close to winning 10 consecutive games. Here's Khedira for Dybala. Chiellini awaits his moment, picks his pass. Marchisio is the player finding space. So too Sami Khedira. And he wants a free kick. He's not going to get it. The challenge by Rudiger.
Just a little bit too deliberate with his fall there, Khedira. Thought he'd actually done enough to get past Rudiger. 2 officials there, and the assistant referee with a flag over the other side. Oh, and a very good vantage point to make the decision. Home fans not happy with it.
Pogba seeing plenty of the ball early on. So too Paulo Dybala. That's a lovely disguised pass for Khedira. Mandzukic looked to return the favour, and that was very nearly Juventus at their delicious best.
No, unlucky. They've been very patient with the ball, but then just moved through the gears there. Dybala with a lovely outside of the foot pass into Khedira. So good at making those forward runs from midfield.
Well, Marchisio from what, 30 yards away, has spotted something he didn't like. Mandzukic is the player who's tumbled, and it's a yellow card for Daniele De Rossi, which has not been met with overwhelming approval locally.
Well, it seems that the whole stadium's seen something, and De Rossi's accepting his yellow card. Now, it looks like a guilty man, doesn't he? The official behind the goal has given just a dig in the ribs and a stamp, perhaps, on Mandzukic. Don't know why De Rossi's getting involved in there. Stamps on him, whether he means to actually trample on him. I thought he actually took a swipe with his right fist, De Rossi.
Well, that was the challenge by Rudiger on Khedira, which Juventus felt warranted a free kick. There have been 7 red cards in the last 5 meetings between these sides. If we finish 11 against 11, then it will be a break in the norm.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't need people making stupid decisions like that from De Rossi. Well, not only the fact that he's picked up a yellow card, and it could very well have been worse. And that official behind the goal. Here's why Khedira went to ground a little bit too softly for me. But regardless, Juve now have a very, very inviting position here for a free kick, with Dybala over it. Lethal from this sort of range. Will he compound that silly error from De Rossi off the ball?
Well, if Paulo Dybala could have had a free drop, it had probably gone a couple of yards further back, but this is very much in his range. Said this week that Andrea Pirlo had left a bit of magic in the number 21 shirt to explain his recent excellence from set pieces. And it will be Paulo Dybala, and it is straight at the goalkeeper, Szczesny, once more.
Yeah, it was obviously a little bit too close in for Dybala to think that he could go over the wall and to Szczesny's left-hand side. Tries to catch the Polish keeper out, hoping that he moves behind his wall, but too central anyway.
This is Dybala in. Crossbar denies him. I think the flag may well have been up as well.
What about the skill, though, to pluck this ball out of the air? Is he offside? It's a decent line from Roma. I'm sure they play a couple of them offside. Look at that confidence, just on cue, wasn't it, almost? And a delicate chip over Szczesny. But saying that Juve having to replace 3 huge players for them, not easy to come in and try and fill their boots, let alone take their shirt number, but Dybala, seamless transition into a Juve shirt.
A collision involving Mandzukic and Pjanic. And that just enables everyone, not just Stefan Lichtsteiner, to take a breather. It's been an electrifying opening 20 minutes. Albeit all the forward momentum has been with the J Stadium hosts. Barzagli, cut out by Pjanic, a rare misplaced Juventus pass. And Golan gets a second bite at creating something.
It's poor play from Nainggolan. It was a rare chance for Roma to produce a decent counter. It's a system that they're playing here which is built to counter-attack, but Nainggolan really has to keep the ball a lot better than he did there.
Well, another impressive Napoli victory earlier has denied Juventus the opportunity to go top of the table for the first time this season. 5 points of deficit at kick-off. A win tonight would, of course, take them back within a couple of points. Pogba, Khedira winning the ball back when they had no right to do so. And Florenzi is looking to put some distance between the ball and his team's goal. But they are winning challenges all over the pitch, Juventus.
Yeah, Chiellini would have enjoyed that. Dzeko wouldn't have done. He wanted the ball to feet, really, when Florenzi broke. Salah might have wanted the ball in space, but Chiellini taking the opportunity to get ball, and just a reminder to Dzeko that it's going to be a long evening for him.
Just 2 goals in his last 14 appearances for Edin Dzeko. Bonucci, Chiellini and Barzagli is not the trio we would have hand-picked to end that kind of drought. Well, sheer determination, not only wanting the ball, but then the free kick there.
Yeah, and a great technique as well to take that ball down on his chest and roll Pjanic in one turn. Lovely play, and then quite rightly, Banti tried to give advantage, but there was none in the end.
He might have been making some questionable decisions in some of Italy's finest hairdressers this season, but he is growing in stature as a player as the season has worn on. There was one or two early on suggesting he wasn't at the races, but that is certainly no longer the case. Dybala. Beyond Mandzukic for Patrice Evra. And De Rossi hasn't got it clear, and Evra gets a second opportunity, and that is well wide of the target.
Well, he actually mishits both of these efforts, Evra. The first one's a lovely crossfield ball from Dybala. Mishit effort from Evra, almost landing towards Paul Pogba. Ball comes back down to him. You expect him to do better with the second. Make sweeter connection with it. Wants a corner in the end, but should probably be a goal. Dybala was offside, but lovely, delicate skill to bring it down, and then the chip was almost perfect.
Florenzi in towards Nainggolan. Cleared only as far as Digne. Van Keur. Back to his countryman. Mohamed Salah, who confidently predicted that Roma would win 2-1 again this evening, as they did in August. Look at Digne, that's a good cross, Dzeko's in there. Comes for Florenzi. And that is an ugly sight. Lashed well wide.
It's a wild finish, because it's a really good chance. I thought perhaps there could have been a free kick from Dzeko. I'm glad there wasn't. A fair challenge on Chiellini there. Chiellini's arms are off, wondering why he hasn't got a free kick. Nothing too much wrong with it, but there Florenzi just needs a little bit of quality. Make sure if you miss that one, you miss it across goal.
Dybala. Still chance for goals to talk about as well. Just caught there, Paulo Dybala. Bonucci forward. Dybala getting the flick on for Mandzukic. Khedira. He's scored in each of his last two, Sami Khedira. Barzagli for Evra. With 3 changes to the last league outing, Patrice Evra in for Alexandro tonight. Bonucci thought about something ambitious, then saw Dybala in space. And once again, Szczesny's right behind it.
Unlucky Dybala. I think he's been bordering on being brilliant in this half, and that's actually his first clear effort. I fully fancy him to really work Szczesny, but didn't get enough on his curl effort. Easy save for the Roma goalie.
Well, the merest couple of seconds of stoppage time at the end of a high-octane first half, but one in which Juventus have ultimately been frustrated. Dybala with a free kick early on and a shot just before half-time, both saved by Szczesny. Should Daniele De Rossi have been sent off, though, in the early exchanges? Plenty up for debate at the break, with Juventus 0, Roma 0, the half-time score.
This programme is sponsored by Bet365.
Once upon a time, Leicester City faced the drop, but something magical happened.
Wow!
And then we went to the Etihad.
And
Man City Leicester, live on BT Sport 1.
Yes, it's got its own super-fast 4G Wi-Fi. Yes, its super bright LED matrix lights shine further than you think. Yes, it's received a host of great reviews. Yes, it's a new Astra.
But
Austin priest abused 80 kids over the last 30 years.
People need to know.
I don't want you recording this in any shape or form. Nothing.
The church will silence anyone who speaks up.
They control everything.
This is big. It's the whole world.
They'll come after you and your team.
They knew, and they let it happen.
Spotlight.
We are defined by what we've seen.
Good evening, Trevor McDonald, ITN, Johannesburg.
I witnessed moments which are beyond any descriptive power. I watched a man,
God bless you,
who could have been crowned king of anywhere. And I've seen the infinite resilience of the human spirit. You're never the same after all that, you know. You see the world differently.
Look after your eyes, then your vision can last a lifetime. Vision Express. Vision taken seriously.
A world first in higher education. UCFB Wembley and UCFB Etihad campus. University degrees in the football, sport and events industries. An unrivaled business network and professional work experience. UCFB, your future in the world of sport.
On Blu-ray and DVD.
These are the Cray twins. Me and my brother, we're gonna rule London.
Tom Hardy in Legend. Buy it now.
No other car sounds quite like it. The Ford Mustang Shelby GT500. Build a unique 1/8 scale replica of the classic American muscle car. Go online now and get issues 1 and 2 and an official gift for just $199. Your model has been faithfully reconstructed in breathtaking detail, including die-cast metals. Go online to buildshelbymustang.com and get this special offer for just $199. D'Agostini.
I can tow you to the local garage, but the part you need isn't going to be cheap. What do you want me to do?
I need my car. I can't have it stuck at a garage out here. I need it on the road. Who can help? Quick, quick, think.
Let's get it to the garage and see if they can fix it today.
Restore some order with a short-term loan from QuickQuid. Find out more at quickquid.co.uk.
At Vision Express, digital retinal photography comes as standard with every eye test. Vision Express. Vision taken seriously.
Join the TV advertising revolution. Search Gorillascope.
This program is sponsored by Bet365.
It is intriguingly poised and has been worth watching, really, for the brilliance and creativity of Paulo Dybala in the first half alone. Can he be the player to make the difference in the second half, or is that incredible winning run of Juventus coming to an end? Can Roma improve on that sequence of 3 consecutive draws? They're going to start needing to find a way to win games if they are going to get back into the Champions League race, that's for sure. But it's been one of the better nil-nils we've seen, Richard Hughes.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think it was fascinating from a tactical point of view, the system that Roma adopted, the fact that it looked as if they were going to be blown away by Juve in the opening 20-25 minutes, but Spalletti's men regrouped, managed to get a few periods of good possession, which took the sting that Juve were possessing at that time.
He was pretty confident nothing was going to happen in the first 30 or 40 seconds as well, Luciano Spalletti, as he sauntered out belatedly. Szczesny, who's not been stretched but had to make sure he got behind a Paulo Dybala free kick, and that effort from open play right at the end of the first half, as the chaps were saying during the break. Florenzi guilty of wasting Roma's clearest opening.
And that's something they do have to improve in the second half, to create openings. Decision-making from Florenzi wasn't good enough when he was in there. It was a late tackle from Marchisio and Pjanic. But they just struggled, even when he had those periods of possession where they controlled it well, they used their back three, they made the pitch nice and big. struggled to get into the final third with any menace whatsoever. That's something, let's see if they can improve that, even though if Roma walked away with a 0-0 result now, that would be an excellent one for them and their new manager.
6 without a goal for Edin Dzeko, likewise Mohamed Salah and Miralem Pjanic. Nainggolan did score last weekend against Verona, and here he is, but there is not too many goals of late amongst those in the most attacking positions for Roma. 2 years Nainggolan, a Roma player now since he made the move from Cagliari. Salah plays a little 1-2 with the Belgian, who has it once more. Closed down by Mandzukic, who he just was not aware was right behind him.
Really generous play from Juve's centre-forward. Physical presence at both ends of the pitch, coming back to lend a hand there.
De Rossi will just need to be careful on the yellow card, which under the half-time microscope very probably should have been red.
It's so foolish when you consider that you got the officials behind the goal in Italy, so very lucky to get away with it, but what was going through his head in the first place?
It was Daniele De Rossi, in case you haven't noticed.
Well, the Juve fans have obviously had an opportunity at half-time to phone friends back home who've seen replays, just to confirm that, yes, from a Juve perspective, there's no way he should be out here for the second half.
I think we might have seen a very different game if the card produced early on had been red. Dzeko holding off 3 to pick out the pass for Digne, and then Lichtsteiner slams the door. One of the great settings now in Italian football, isn't it? The Juventus Stadium, and it's pretty much at 41,000 capacity tonight. Digne with the throw. It's a testing one, and it's come for Nainggolan. And the deflection takes it over and behind for a corner kick.
He's closed down very quickly by Pogba. He gets a crucial block in, deflects it over for a corner, because otherwise Nainggolan would have had a real sighter at Buffon's goal, even though it would have been on his left foot from that close in. If he wasn't pressurised as well as he was.
Chiellini hopes not to take on Rudiger. Cuadrado might. Goes for goal. And that is the most notable effort of the second half.
Well, it is. It shows you how few chances we have had, our shots on goal. Doesn't make really good contact with it. Bobbles a couple of times before Szczesny has to make sure he holds on.
Barzagli over the top for Cuadrado. Pogba, lovely touch. Mandzukic for Evra, and that's a big save from Szczesny. Again, straight at him, but real bravery from the goalkeeper. Last line of defence.
Yeah, that's a much harder save, and no guesses for working out where that one hit, but he made himself big. Pogba's actually trying to bring that down for himself, but his touch just in the lands for Mandzukic. Mandzukic into the path of Evra. Right into the stomach of Szczesny as well to repel it, makes himself as big as possible. Nice layoff that from Mandzukic, and Evra knows that he's got no time to measure up a finish, just has to go for pure power. He's under pressure, he does that. And good stop, good brave stop from Szczesny.
Florenzi running into a determined Patrice Evra. Dybala with the layoff. Khedira and Pogba suddenly full of running again. Paul Pogba opening up. Dybala! Deadly Dybala does it again for Juventus. They have finally found a way through. And Juventus do now have the lead over Roma. And they are heading back to within a couple of points of Napoli at the top.
Well, who needs to make a change when you've still got this man on the pitch? He just faded in the last 5 or 10 minutes. Looks as if he was drifting out of the game, but I should have known better. This is an exquisite finish. And the reason that you know it's going to end up in the back of the net, because it's on his left foot, and his left foot's a magic one. Lovely first touch just to shift it off its line, and then takes it so early. And Szczesny's not set. Good play from Pogba, best thing he's done all night, easily. The through ball was perfect. Brilliant two touches from Dybala. Well, what a player he is. No chance for Szczesny, even though he gets a glove to it. That's what it means to Buffon. That's how important that goal could be.
Well, he's had a much quieter second half, Paulo Dybala. Paul Pogba, by his standards, has had a rather anomalous 70-odd minutes, but it only takes a couple of seconds, and the two have combined for a brilliant Juve goal. Dzeko the target, and it's come all the way through to Edin Dzeko, and I think the shove on Barzagli was clear to see.
Yeah, and he knows. Shakes his head, but knows that exactly what he was doing, just puts Barzagli off balance, not going to get away with it, and he does it. Nice take. Just wonder how Roma are going to get something now. They haven't tested Buffon anywhere near enough in this game. Haven't really come here with the desire and intention to, it would seem, but something has to change now.
Pogba, the man who created the goal. Evra, who had a big hand in it as well. Patrice Evra still going. And he's tested Szczesny once or twice this evening.
Never really looked likely to get any significant pressures on his right foot. Plenty of room to run into. Florenzi showed them the inside, and judging by the finish, it wasn't a bad idea from the Roma wing-back.
How do you assess Roma in terms of how they've performed this evening? Obviously short in confidence.
Yeah, I said after about 72 minutes that whatever happened from here on, I think this was an improvement in the Roma we've seen, particularly the one that drew against Verona and have slipped up. In a few games they should be winning. And I think that still remains the case, because they've come here with a good attitude. They've been hard to beat, made it very difficult for Juve. They've needed a brilliant player to come out with something a bit special to win the game. They're still in it as well, still could rescue something.
Digne. It's a good cross, and Chiellini had to do well to steer it away. Nainggolan back in, and Bonucci away this time, out as far as Florenzi, who went for the spectacular and big claims for handball against Patrice Evra. And the free kick is given.
Yeah, correctly so. Evra flies towards the ball, and his arms are in an unnatural position. May well be covering his face, but providing enough of an obstacle for a handball decision to be given against Juve. Fabulous cross from Digne. Digging something out which seemed very unlikely. Juve managing to clear the first danger, but from this one from Florenzi, you'll see that Evra just lifts his arms just to protect himself. Rossi showing him exactly what he did. Banti giving him the yellow card, which may be a little bit harsh.
It's going to cost him a one-match ban as well. Well, that's the goal that separates the sides. The most clinical of finishes from a striker in stunning form.
Who's it going to be here for Roma? And Pjanic is over it. Fantastic striker with the ball, perhaps would suit a left footer ordinarily from here, but when you've got someone as good as Pjanic, then it's got to be him.
Well, when Dybala was stood over these earlier on in the game, he anticipated that the net would burst, and Pjanic is more or less accurate. It will be Pjanic for Roma, and it just flicked the wall on the way over the bar.
And it's a crucial touch, Steve, because I think this may well be going in otherwise. Buffon showed them an awful lot of this side of the goal. I'm not quite sure he's going to get over there. If it is on target, the wall does its job.
A match winner in waiting, summing up the mood around the Juventus stadium. Well, Sadik Umar comes on for what will be 45 seconds plus stoppage time to see if he can add to the two goals he scored in 2 starts for Roma. Not got long to make an impact now, though. Pjanic with the corner, brilliantly away by Bonucci. Morata hassling and harrying Florenzi.
That's the pressure I mentioned, that's what he will bring. He's obviously clattered into Florenzi at the same time there as he got the ball to give away a throw-in.
Dzeko helping it on. Sadiq Umar in there. But Buffon has been untroubled and unruffled all night, and he's just got 4 minutes now, him and his team, to see things through. That's how much stoppage time remains for Luciano Spalletti to try and get something from a game against Juventus, but he's only ever taken 3 points from a possible 54 as a manager against the Bianconeri. It is not a record that looks like improving tonight.
And just finishing off that point that he asked me about for Roma, well and truly out of the title race. Not quite sure they were in it anyway before tonight. I know mathematically if they won here perhaps it could have given them something to push on, but looks like it's going to be Juve and Napoli, the 2 best teams in Italy for me, no question. Inter just faltering a little bit recently. And Roma have it all on to try and qualify for the Champions League itself, but see enough from today's performance to think that they'll have a better second half of the season. They had the first one, so not all doom and gloom from them.
This is not how they would have liked the run of draws to come to an end, the Roma faithful, but it's going to take something remarkable now. Really not threatened. Keita. Are there any reserves of Roma energy? 2.5 minutes to find the equaliser. Dzeko helps it on. Rossi, Nangolan. But in Dzeko again. Pjanic. Digne up against Cuadrado. Pjanic, just a heavy touch there. Allowed Marchisio to make the challenge, and now Morata wins his team a free kick. A cheap one, but a free kick nonetheless. And Nangolan, the latest player to be booked.
I think Pjanic is furious with himself because it was his heavy touch, as you said, Steve, that just allowed Juve to win the ball back through Marchisio. And there goes the momentum, and perhaps the last opportunity for Roma. It's happened to Pjanic a few times this evening, just been uncharacteristically wayward with a few of his passes.
Torosidis for Florenzi is Roma's final change. Struggling with flu in the latter part of the week, Torosidis. Morata. Pogba, giving the Greek defender something to think about straight away. Penalised though, Pogba.
6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
The inquest can't wait for the dressing room.
Yeah, I wonder whether that's Spalletti just running through the goal. From a Roma perspective, we mentioned how good it was from Pogba and Dybala, but just came down Florenzi's side, so whether that's Spalletti with an early opinion on what happened.
Well, tempers usually do fray at some point during Juventus-Roma contests. It would be quite something if we got to the end of this game with 11 against 11. Doesn't happen too often of late. Another 4 minutes of stoppage time have been played. We are at the discretion of Luca Banti. There's Mandzukic a moment ago, now Morata. His beef seems to be with De Rossi. It is 11 wins out of 11 for Juventus, back to within 2 points of Napoli at the top of the table. Those are the pace setters in Italy. For Roma, it's now just 1 win in 9, and the run of draws comes to an end in a fashion which Luciano Spalletti will be, I'm sure, very concerned about. But Juve certainly the better team on the night, and undoubtedly Paulo Dybala was the class act. His goal, the difference. A cause for great celebration all around the Juventus stadium. Juventus have beaten their old rivals Roma by 1-0.
Absolutely, and arrivederci Roma, really, when you look at the title race now. Juve with their 11th straight win, moving back to 2 points behind Napoli. The two teams moving clear of their rivals, perhaps now. Then you've got Fiorentina and Inter, and Roma, who are a whopping 6 points off the top 3 as it stands.